While walking with him, I became quickly inspired by his dedication to his fellow veterans. Despite returning to civilian life, Mr. Hudson has dedicated his time, energy, and resources to help fellow veterans, and his mission is a testament to the never-ending spirit and selflessness of our nation's veterans. Mr. Hudson told me that a big part of the reason for the walk is to catch the attention of our nation's elected officials. The walking veteran deserves our attention and support, and I'm pleased to share his story with my colleagues in the House. I encourage all to follow Mr. Hudson's journey.
Hello, this is Thomas Hudson, the walking veteran. I'm right here in Muskogee, Oklahoma, about on the edge of town. You have to give me a little bit of credit here and accept my apology. The video might not be as like it was 2 years ago when I was walking across the country and made commentaries. I'm having to do this holding the hand. And by the way, I first want to say to everybody out there, that hat that I'm wearing says Vietnam Era, E-R-A. So I don't want any of the what I refer to as online haters making comments, because those hats I wore 2 years ago was given to me by people that wanted me to wear it in honor of a loved one, and they wrote notes on the inside, and those hats ended up going into a museum. I am a person that I normally do not like to saturate the internet with all my personal issues. I might give an update once in a while about my health and things of that nature, but I really don't go in great detail. I normally don't like to talk about my issues like with the VA or anything else, because I'm a person that I'm more about helping others rather than bringing attention to myself. But now, today, it's called facing reality. And what has happened here in recent months is that, number one, I got evicted. Now, why in the world did I get evicted? If you look at a website called MuskogeeSeniors.com, then you will see the stories on there about as to why. And I do know that in a small claims court eviction it wasn't going to go anywhere, but attorneys have assured me that if I file in district court, that corporation would definitely pay off. However, I'm not into all that, but you'll see the stories, you'll see pictures, documentation, where I went 2 weeks without a air conditioner in an apartment that had 10 windows, only one would open. Real nice apartment, but the corporation, they filed for bankruptcy, and then the manager's husband, the maintenance manager, comes to my apartment, assaults me because allegations I threw a check in his wife's face. Find out later he went to the wrong apartment. There's 2 buildings, and he went to the wrong apartment in the wrong building. And then there was some other things. And I thought, man, I am not coming here to be abused. So because of who I am, I want to stand up, not just for me, but others, and make an issue about this. There was one senior citizen, a walker, back in the wintertime, she went a month without heat. And so now, the other issue is that a social worker at the VA released, and only she could have done it. Unless someone else accesses it, the privacy officer does have a tracer on that stuff, released some very confidential information about me out of the VA records that someone got and twisted around, put it all on the internet, and then a home health care provider, if you go to VA Scandal.news, you'll see the stories about that, cleaned out my bank account, even cleaned out my storage unit, took all my furniture, and there's text between us. I'm literally begging on text, what happened to the money? I'm hungry. And she claims she's going to bring my bed up. Well, I didn't need a bed in a motel. Anyway, so Friday, after 4 o'clock on Friday, a Adult Protective Service lady called and talked to the manager and said to give her to Monday. And they were going to see about getting the resources. They can't get the BA to call them back. And now you can't get a hold of nobody. And you call and you get a voicemail, so they'll call you back within 24 hours. Well, reality is I'm walking down the road, one step at a time. Regardless of what happens to me, I will do it with the same mentality I did 2 years ago, because I have no other choice. One step at a time. Now, what are the dangers? Someone might say go to a shelter. Well, I take a drug, the brand name is Afinitor 10 milligrams. Iberomus. And that's a cancer pill that it breaks down your immune system to fight the cancer cells. And by the way, I'm doing a lot better than I was in terms of the cancer, but because it breaks down your immune cells, that's why I don't get out as much. Because if I go into something like an emergency shelter, which I've never stayed in one before in my life, it will, you could get a virus, a flu, or anything like that in a heartbeat. That's happened one time several years ago in Las Vegas, where I ended up in ICU. And I'm not supposed to be around people that, that's either got flu or had a vaccine, using a live vaccine, stuff like that. So here is reality. Reality is that we all get out there and we preach about 22 a day. Yes, I appreciate some of these organizations actually doing something, the troops on the ground, rather than giving lip service. But I am not suicidal. I am not. But there's a thing about putting someone in that position. If I could use a military analogy, back during Vietnam days, the Navy had river boats. There is no way they put me in a brig in a ship, because I'm not going to be on no riverboat going up and down a river in Vietnam at night. You're a sitting duck. It's called a suicide mission. That's where people put you in that position. So this position is, no money, no food, I don't even have a flashlight. 2 years ago, that wagon had all kind of neat gadgets. It had all kind of supplies. But today, it's just not there. So, and then the other thing, the GoFundMe account. Well, this phone that I'm using right now, someone paid for it to get turned back on. The other phone was what they call a government phone. It ran out, so it's not working. So in order to go on GoFundMe and to access the financial part, the withdrawals, they have to send you a text, a code, or a voicemail, which I couldn't get at the time, so it was only until this phone got turned on, and now I got a screenshot showing that withdrawals are scheduled for October 25th. That's Thursday. So I can't use that. The management's, put everything off to Monday because the Adult Protective Service said they were contacting them. The BA, all well with them. Adult Protective Service said they wouldn't even call them back. So here's the situation. Reality is that I had to leave behind some very expensive, brand new medical equipment, most of my medications, because I just can't carry it. And but anyway, what I want is not for everybody to feel sorry for me, because I'm a person that when I'm faced with adversity, I try to take my mental outlook on things and make it an opportunity, because as I've always preached, I don't have problems, I got opportunities. This opportunity that I have today, even though what might happen, I want to use it to bring attention just several things. So later on, you're going to see commentaries about what I want to bring attention to. No, I'm not out here to collect no money or anything like that in terms of, bringing awareness to something. I just want to use this as an opportunity because if it is the last thing in my life, I want to say I did something and I tried to make a difference. That's what I am about. And one other thing. The documentary I was talking about is probably not going to be finished because I'm not available and I can't do so much on this phone. A lot of things on the laptop, getting it together for the editing and all that. But I assure you, all you people that go out there and when you look at all that military phony garbage, they make it look real. It is a bunch of fake stuff. It's a fake DD-214. I don't care if they call it Freedom of Information Act. I did serve in Germany. They got that I didn't serve overseas. I also didn't commit larceny or put a bomb threat in no hospital. And I'm still alive, and I did not try to steal someone's identity. That stupid picture that went around of a grave site with my name on it. I was surprised. There's quite a few Thomas Hudsons in the world. But also after a 2-year investigation, these characters that call themselves veterans that has this military phony and a bunch of other websites, the ringleader, Scotty Hughes, you wouldn't believe what he's been doing to me. That guy lives up in Spencer, Virginia. He's a felon, and the rationale, the conclusion is that those websites are there to collect donations. So don't believe all that stuff. Ask me questions. Let me tell you what's going on and stuff like that. Like for instance, somebody at a radio station, when they put the article and the radio clips online, they put Marine veteran. Well, I quickly posted and called them. I'm not a Marine. At Fort Lee, Virginia, the Fort Lee Traveler, they call it, did a newspaper article, and the title was Retired Air Force. I immediately called them and said, I'm not retired. So, there's a lot of things that people use mistakes to make it look like you're a fraud, and that's just not the case. The only other time raising money was GoFundMe for Walking Veteran, and that only raised $4,400 after all these former support team members that I got rid of. One of them, the support team coordinator, was sending sexually explicit text to another member, and I was not going to tolerate that, so I got rid of them. And so they started all this stuff with this Scotty about this military phony garbage. They made up a whole bunch of lies. People that know me know better. And the idea, if you look at walkingveteran.com, that I went all the way to Congress and met with all kind of law enforcement from Secret Service, Capitol Police, Park Police, met with congressional investigators, and then the first night that Congress was back in session, the congressman I went to see gave me an honor. I immediately had my real DD-214 there and asked him to peel the seal on the side and everything else. The idea I went to Congress and presented false documentation, that's what they accuse now. I've never been in federal prison, don't plan on starting today. Also, since then, I've met with governors several times, congressmen, and a whole bunch of other people. So there are still 5,200 people in the Walking Veteran group alone, and a lot of those people are like attorneys. They know better when it comes to me. So don't believe all this stuff everybody else said. But remember, reality is here. It's not going to take a rocket scientist to figure out more than likely what's going to happen. But hey, I want it to be an opportunity. Maybe my life could make a difference, because we still need to bring attention to the work that needs to be done in the VA. And then a few other topics. I want to bring attention to something's happening to a veteran over in Arkansas. But listen, I want to say that the overwhelming majority of the VA employees are there dedicated to their profession and to helping veterans. Last week, an ICU nurse from the VA called up and paid for my room, and that's what gave me an extension. That ran out last Saturday, and other people at Adult Protective Service, the VA, promised the manager and everybody that they would call them back on Monday, and they never did. So guess what? Here I am, and this is Thomas Hudson, the walking veteran. Hello. Well, it's me again. I'm sorry I'm a little out of breath. It's cold. Because I haven't slept much. This place got some weird sounds to it. But, anyway. Oh, man. Well, here I am. What can I say? Yesterday, I spent time trying to call people. A social worker from the VA called and left a message late yesterday afternoon saying that they got it figured out. They're talking about giving me a ride to Little Rock. And, I don't know, too little, too late. But there's talk about send me to Denver and all that kind of stuff. A lot of this is because of security reasons, because what has happened here, and or back there in Muskogee, and it's in a long detail. I'll try to explain it further. I do have an external battery charger, so I charge it up at my laptop computer. Get around where they got Wi-Fi. It's got to be charged up. Anyway, I want to show you something. This is one of the things I'm concerned about out here. Well, there's all kind of things get concerned because it's hard for me to get up. And then you got animals. I don't know what it was. There was something earlier tonight. I'm trying to hold this phone up. If I get caught, let me try to pull this out. If I get caught out here with all this medication, look at this. I'm going to tell you, going through life all along with cancer is no fun. But I don't take all that stuff, and I don't plan on it because, number one, I don't have no water. And you want to talk about horrible water, go to Oklahoma. But I want to show you something. I got to try to swallow a couple of these pills. Some way, somehow. Well, I can't get it open. Let me set this down right here. I should have been a little more prepared, but I'm not. It's not like 2 years ago where I had all kind of meals. But anyway, I want to show you this box right here. This right here is a Benator Iberomus tablets, 10 milligram. There's 28 pills in this box. It's a cancer pill. And if you see right there, it says 28 tablets. If you go to Walmart, and I've done this, and I took a printout to my oncologist, told her it was attitude readjustment's what I call it. And but if you go to Walmart and ask them for their retail price of a Benator 10 milligrams, 28-day supply, their retail price for this box alone is a little over $15,000. I swear I hear something back there. So I am very appreciative that I'm getting medication from the VA, because out in the civilian world, some insurance companies won't cover this. But anyway, but this stuff here, you can't, there's no way you could take it without water. And it says, take 1 tablet by mouth daily for cancer. Swallow with a glass of water. Do not break, chew, or crush. Anyway, let's see. Contact with or exposure to crushed or broken tablets. If you do some research online, I keep on hearing some. This pill breaks down your immune system to fight the cancer cells. A lot of this other stuff is in here is, I forgot what it's called. It's anemia. There's 2 types of prostate medicines. There's a bunch of other junk here. And, I'm supposed to be taking these pills for vitamin D deficiency and bone strength and all that stuff. Of course, that spray I'm supposed to use when I use a CPAP machine, but of course I can't use no CPAP machine. And let's see what this one is. Take 1 tablet by mouth daily for blood pressure. Anyway, well, guess what? I don't let my illness define who I am. And even though this is tough, and there are some things I just don't want to tell you about, and pertaining to health-wise, and something happened last night, because I'm not taking my coat off to show you. But anyway, hey, listen, I appreciate everybody's support. There's still a lot of work to be done. There's a wonderful support team coordinator and people that still works. I've kept a lot of things secret about my personal life because I don't want it to interfere with what the work needs to be done.
Well, Thomas, I want to say thank you to you for standing up and speaking up for our vets. Thank you for walking the incredible journey from Vegas all the way to Washington, D.C. And thank you for giving a voice to the incredible men and women who have risked everything.
Spend a decade on the Veterans Committee. It means we've got to continue
to all our veterans. Let me just say thank you for your service, and we are very aware of the fact that we're not keeping our commitments to veterans when it comes to quality health care, and are working very hard to try to turn that around, both in terms of the disability and health care assessment system and making sure that veterans and their families get the benefits that they earned. So thank you for your service, and we're going to keep working until we get it right.
The building at the Kennedy Caucus Room, where we have a
It's a pleasure to be with you. It's always great to see and hear the walking veteran, but I want to tell all the veterans of this country, help is on the way. We're looking forward to doing the right thing because you did the right thing for us.
Talking a lot about the good you're doing for veterans and the important work that we're going to do here in Congress to help our nation's veterans.
Well, thank you very much. I'm Dina Titus. I represent Las Vegas, and I serve on the Veterans Committee. I'm the ranking member of the Subcommittee on Disability Benefits. I want to thank the walking veteran for following me all the way from Las Vegas to Washington.
Okay, this is Congressman Pete King from New York, and let me just thank all veterans for the outstanding job that you've done, the fact that you've answered your nation's call. It's because of outstanding men and women like you that we're a free nation today, and none of us can ever fully appreciate the sacrifice you've made, and it's our nation's obligation to stand with you every step of the way you stood with us. So thank you all, and God bless you, and God bless America.
you to meet Joe.
Hi there, my name is Joe. I'm the barber. Been here, as I say, 46 years. We cut the hair, the members, staff, vice president.
Hello, this is Thomas Hudson reporting back from Washington, D.C., the home of our nation's capital. A walk across America started in Las Vegas, Nevada on May the 2nd and is here in Washington, D.C. We've been saying, Washington, we have a problem. In Washington, we are coming. Well, guess what? Washington, we are here.
Hello, this is Thomas Hudson, a walking veteran. I'm right here at the Department of Veterans Affairs.
The President of the United States.
Hello, this is Thomas Hudson. You all know me as the walking veteran. Some people know me as the talking veteran because 2 years ago I said if you don't talk, you're not going to get your message across. I have a message here today. It's very sad, and I'm asking for your help. This case about a 66-year-old man being homeless, medical condition I'm in and everything. It's sad that all what has happened that led to it. I can't get any assistance from the VA, and someone there released my medical record. Someone got it all twisted around and put it all over the internet. And then the home health care provider cleaned up my storage unit and my money for this month. So I'm struggling. But I had to leave where I was. Now they're threatening to call the police because the bill went unpaid because I was left hanging on by Adult Protective Service, and they can't get the VA to return a call. So I haven't heard anything back. Please make a donation, please. Thank you very much.